Here, the defective pattern of land tenure. I think you've heard or you've already had an idea like the government do really take the initiative to introduce certain changes on the Indian agricultural sector. And one of the important steps that is being undertaken by the government is through the implementation of the land reform measures. And the main aim the government did on implementing these land reform measures, it is to bring about a change or to transform or to solve the so many problems that are being faced by the Indian agriculturist. And looking at the land reform measures, one of the land reform measures it is the abolition of the Zamindari system. The very existence of those zamindar it really adds to the problem of the Indian agriculturist. But even though uh, the under the land reform measures, the government has abolished the zamindari system. But till now, we can still see the system that still is still prevailing in the rural sector. And yes, it seems as if yes, through the land reform measures, the government did try to control the rent that are being charged on the poor farmers. That means through the land reforms, the government they try to regulate the amount of rent so that to free the agriculturist from exploitation. But even then, yes, the Indian farmers are not free from the exploitations. That means they are still being charged with a high rate of rent by the landlords or by the zamindars. So another reason that is responsible for the low agricultural output or the backwardness of the Indian agriculture is the defective pattern of the land tenure. Further, let's have a look what falls under the technological factors. Under the technological factors, we learn one of the factor is the traditional methods of cultivation. The agriculture sector, unlike the industrial sector, they do still stick with the old primitive methods of cultivation. They don't really have the incentive, they don't really want it to change their methods of production. So if I say relying on the traditional or the old methods of production, that will definitely affect the output or the productivity. And this is also another reason that is contributed to that. Yes, the second is the lack of high yielding seeds. The third is a scanty use of fertilizer. The fourth is the inadequate irrigation facilities. The fifth is the lack of agricultural research. If you look at all these 3 points over here under the technological factors, this it relates to the Green Revolution. Yes, looking at the Green Revolution, we can see it is a new technology, and with it, it brings together the high yielding seeds or the HYV seeds. It brings together the different types of fertilizers, the pesticides, so many. The use of irrigation facilities, the encouragement of agricultural research, so on and so forth. But looking at the agriculture sector, they are not provided. I mean, the Indian farmers, they are not provided with all these high yielding varieties of seeds or the superior quality of seeds. Most of them, they are still been using the the inferior quality of seeds. Most of them, they are still relying on the use of manures as fertilizers. Okay, they don't really have the capacity to adopt for uh, these chemicals, these fertilizers, these pesticides, so on and so forth, um, which is being which in which the green revolution brings with it. And yes, they are also not being provided with proper irrigation facilities, and all these that really contribute towards the low agricultural output or the general backwardness in the Indian agricultural sector. So yes, talking be it the general factors, be it the institutional factors as well as the technological factors, they do really play their part in what can I say, in affecting the growth of the agricultural sector or in affecting the living standards of are farmers, and as a result, most of them still continue to live in poverty.